Greetings once again, my friends, and welcome back to more Blizzcon talk. Are you guys tired of it yet? I don't think you are, because we're going to continue on. So today, or at least this video, not today, but this video is the one I'm probably the most excited about. Everything that I watched on this particular game was amazing, and it actually might make me swap over, at least for a while. It really makes me sad that I can't play other Blizzard games in the time frames that I do have. But we're talking about Hearthstone, and especially the launch of the expansion, Kobolds and Catacombs. So this is basically, they even openly admitted this is their homage to dungeon crawls and all that stuff, and that's basically how it's supposed to work. Most of it was, I mean, obviously the panels were filled with hilariousness of just puns everywhere. That's usually how Hearthstone panels go, and that's why I kind of appreciate them every time. Like, after you get a bunch of bad news, it's actually kind of worthwhile to go watch the Hearthstone panels, because they're having such fun when they're unveiling their stuff. So, obviously we have a new expansion, Kobolds and Catacombs, which is not necessarily, I don't believe it's a card pack per se. I don't know, I think it might be, I'm not quite sure. They kind of went in a couple of different directions with it, so I'm not quite sure if we're going to get card packs, but we are going to get brand spanking new cards, and holy crap, they unveiled a lot of awesome things for it. So first of all, I'm not even going to get into the part that's the most exciting for me first off. I'm going to go into the thing that was most exciting for the audience, and that was the announcement of 9 new legendary weapon cards. So 1 for each class. And in some cases, that's amazing, because some classes have had nothing. They've had no weapons whatsoever, mainly because their card gameplay is not really based around around weapons. In particular, the ones that we got shown were the Priest weapon, which is going to be the Dragon Soul. And I'm not remembering the effects right off the top of my head, so I'm not even going to try and mention them to you. But the Priest got the Dragon Soul, and the Mage also got announced, which is Aluneth. So the arcane artifact is going to be making its way into Hearthstone. I do remember that one involved drawing cards, and I know that the Priest one involved summoning a 5/5 dragon every other turn or something like that. So, I mean, these were already amazing effects, and it only makes you wonder, like, what else are going to get pulled through, because they did say that, you know, Aluneth is not the only artifact that's going to be brought into Hearthstone. So, like, I was immediately hoping, please let them announce the Scythe of Elune. Please let them announce the Scythe of Elune. But no, you only got those legendary weapons, but we know that 1 for each class is happening. And we got tons of amazing new cards to be able to go look into. I mean, you guys saw in the opening ceremony, the Crumbling Walls card for Hunters, basically taking your outermost minions and crushing them. We also got a couple of other minions, like Kobold minions for Paladin, as well as, who was the other one that got one? I want to say it was a Rogue, where you get Kobold minions, or you get legitimate, like, magical minions, and then you also got some amazing cards that are not necessarily going to be in constructive play, but they're going to be playing into what I consider to be the best part about this expansion, the dungeon run. So, single player just came to Hearthstone. That's basically what happened here. To those who are going to say, but Drak, single player was there the entire time. Yes, it has. Okay, I'm not saying you're wrong. Naxxramas, Blackrock Mountain, One Night in Karazhan, all of these things, yes, they were single-player experiences, and they are fun and hilarious to be able to go through, but this one has a lot more potential than that, because where those are fixed encounters as you go along, I didn't even mention Knights of the Frozen Throne, where you go through a chain of encounters, then you go to the next wing, so on and so forth, the dungeon run works a little differently. There are 48 bosses, and you will randomly get them in teams of 8, and you get to go on your own little dungeon crawl. You get to pick a class, and you get kind of a straighter range deck, but as you go along, you're going to uncover loot. So when you beat basically when you encounter a new monster, he has his own deck, and you get to, if you defeat him, you get a reward. And those cards are going to be based solely for the dungeon run. These are not things that are going to get brought into constructive play, but they have amazing things that you can use to get further into the dungeon run. So what does this do? Let's just say, for the sake of argument, you beat only one guy in your first dungeon run. You get that amazing reward. That's a payoff right off the bat. And then you go in, you get trounced by the second guy. Doesn't matter. You still want to go further. And the cool part also is, let's just say you got a little bit of a harder combination right off the bat. The next time you go in, you might not necessarily be that unlucky. You might get something a little bit easier. And here's the other thing to take away from it. The way that I understood it, unless you complete the dungeon run, it's all or nothing. So if you don't so it's basically like the arena. If you do not win, if you do not get all the way to the end, you don't get the rewards that come at the end, which would be additional cards that you could be able to, I'm guessing, be able to use in constructive play. You don't get those rewards. You instead have to play through it again. But at that point, you might not necessarily, when you walk in, get the exact same cards. You might even get some cards that are a little bit more rewarding to your class, and everything is built around the classes. You might be able to get something a little bit more rewarding and be able to push through. But they did kind of emphasize that there are easier guys and there are harder guys. They even mentioned there was a room of traps that even their devs were having difficulty with every time they tuned it. So already that's exciting to me, because that's, 48 bosses doesn't sound like a whole lot, but when you're rearranging them into those combinations, it's pretty great to be able to go through that and get a brand new experience every time. Yeah, sure, I've seen that boss before, but I might not necessarily have seen all that boss's deck, so to speak. So already I'm absolutely excited for the dungeon run. Single player in Hearthstone is one of the things I've really been craving for a long while. I know that a few people have brought up like brawls, and I guess the arena got redone, so like people are saying, yeah, there is single player that you can go and do, but a lot of the time it still has an emphasis in the quick play concept of being able to play with other players. And you guys have even seen it on my videos. I occasionally win, but most of the time I get trounced, and part of that is because I don't have the time to go and fish for all the cards that these guys have. So this is amazing to me because it allows me to get that advantage and then maybe take it into a quick match and be able to start getting some of the other cards that I want to get. Because Hearthstone is also one of those games where I actually do want to collect all the cards. A lot of the legendaries look awesome and really kind of change up how constructed play can work, or even wild. What's the other kind of play? It's like wild card play can work. I would really love to be able to just try it all. I really would. But Kobolds and Catacombs is probably the best announcement right next to Blizzard World for me, and I'm totally excited, and Kobolds and Catacombs launches next month. So, yay! And I also love the new board that they got, completely laden with candles, and make sure not to take them. Yeah, I wish I could add even more to this, because I don't really want to spoil the cards. You guys can go check them out, and they're going to be out next month, including the cards that we actually will get rewarded as virtual ticket holders. We got, Merrick the Fox, who gives a random chest to his opponent, which can give a potion that's pretty freaking awesome. Or no, I can't even remember the rewards that were in that chest, but like a goblet that can give you a bunch of copies. I think there was one that actually can summon a random legendary minion. Amazing. Like we're going to get these cards right off the bat, but then in December, Kobolds and Catacombs will debut, and I can already tell you I'll be one of the first people to do a dungeon run, and whether I do it on stream or something like that, I don't know. But that's going to go ahead and do it for my coverage of Hearthstone. I was absolutely floored and amazed by the concept of it. I can't wait until it comes out, and maybe around that time, I'll be on break, so I'm probably going to be playing a lot of Kobolds and Catacombs during the holiday break. And of course, that's going to go ahead and do it for this video. So when I come back, we've got a little bit of an unexpected subject to get into as I delve into the announcement of WoW Classic. We'll see you guys then.